Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Riesinger. Janelle has the night off. President Trump has until 6 p.m. tomorrow to send the Senate his formal response to the House charges against him. This is just the third impeachment trial in the history of the United States, is slated to begin in earnest next week, Tuesday, with senators tasked with deciding if the president should be removed from office. Well, today we learned that President Trump has chosen some high-profile and controversial lawyers to defend him. Ben Tracy reports from the White House.
With impeachment clearly on his mind, President Trump gave the national champion LSU football team a history lesson today about the resolute desk in the Oval Office.
It's been there a long time, a lot of presidents, some good, some not so good. But you got a good one now. Even though they're trying to impeach the son of a bitch. Can you believe that?
Ahead of next week's Senate trial, Mr. Trump is bolstering his legal team. It will be led by White House counsel Pat Cipollone and Mr. Trump's private attorney Jay Sekulow. But new additions include constitutional law professor Alan Dershowitz and former special prosecutor Ken Starr.
My role today is
back in 1999, when Starr's investigation of President Clinton led to his impeachment, businessman Donald Trump had a very different opinion.
I think Ken Starr is a lunatic. I really think that Ken Starr is a disaster.
Today, Monica Lewinsky, whose affair with President Clinton Starr uncovered, tweeted, "Are you kidding me?" with an expletive. The president is not explaining his choices, and they are controversial. Both Starr and Dershowitz once represented convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Dershowitz is also accused of sexually assaulting a woman when she was underage, which he denies. Some White House aides were concerned about that baggage.
It would be unconstitutional for President Trump to be impeached on the current record.
But the president has watched the two lawyers' frequent TV appearances, and one White House advisor tells CBS News Mr. Trump believes they will make for great TV ratings at the trial. Alan Dershowitz now says he is not a full-fledged member of the Trump defense team. He says he will be giving a 1-hour-long constitutional defense of the president at the Senate trial. Ben Tracy, CBS News, the White House.
Now, President Trump is spending the weekend at his resort in Florida before the Senate impeachment trial begins on Tuesday. The Pentagon has revised its casualty assessment after Iran's retaliatory missile strike on 2 bases in Iraq. You may remember President Trump and other leaders originally said no one was hurt in that attack. But now U.S. Central Command says 11 service members suffered concussions. They were sent for treatment in Germany and Kuwait. Each is being monitored for signs of traumatic brain injury and other symptoms. That missile launch was in response to a U.S. drone strike that claimed the life of Iran's leading general, Qasem Soleimani. Well, it's been almost a week now since a plane crash north of Billings claimed the lives of 4 Billings men. Cause of that crash is still under investigation. Yellowstone County Sheriff Mike Linder says because of the fast turn of weather, they knew they needed to work fast, and using technology from the Montana Highway Patrol, everyone working together, they were able to document the scene diligently and in a timely way.
Shepherd Fire showed out in full force, and after we got the scene documented and using the Highway Patrol's drone, they could do everything from the damage up at the tower all the way down to where the aircraft landed or came to rest. So we had very good documentation, contacted the NTSB and requested permission to basically disturb the scene by removing the victims.
Well, the autopsy report shows that all 4 men died of blunt force trauma. We're still awaiting the toxicology and other results from the FAA and the NTSB. A second person has now been charged in connection with last year's shooting death of a Sydney man. Karina Orozco Angel was charged today with deliberate homicide by accountability in the death of Tyler Hayden, who was killed outside the Loaf and Jug convenience store in July 2019. Orozco Angel is the girlfriend of alleged shooter Kyle Severson and drove him to the convenience store. The 2 men apparently had been in a feud over her at the time. Severson has pleaded not guilty. Now, Severson and Orozco Angel are each in the Richland County Jail on a $2 million bond. Well, in today's digital world and with a rise in identity theft activity online, chances are you may find yourself fighting to keep your personal information yours. This Sunday, our MTN investigative reporter Andrea Lutz is taking an in-depth look at how much information you may be giving out to the public and not even realizing it. We meet a Kalispell woman, Maria Gladstone, who traveled abroad this fall but had an airline worker overseas take her personal information without her consent. So we're taking a look at what policies are in place, if any, to protect your own personal information and learning ways to safeguard your social media identity. This after Gladstone says she fell victim to cyberbullying across the world because of the whole ordeal.
Yeah, it spiraled quickly into something that got shared in Morocco, and I started to be bombarded with tons of harassing and insulting and threatening messages.
Andrea's latest MTN investigation, Crisis Identity, airs this Sunday night at 10 o'clock right here. All right, Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire joining us now. Bob, that weekend is here, and it's a long one for many folks.
Sure
we have the MLK holiday.
Yeah, that's right. It's a federal holiday for sure, so federal workers will have 3 days off. Maybe you do too. Well, let me show you what you can expect on this long holiday weekend. First, let's start with Saturday and Sunday. We're starting to improve a little bit. Mostly sunny skies both days, though. It will be a little cooler on Saturday because we still got a little chunk of cold Arctic air lingering here. It'll be 27 degrees for the high temperature. Then on Sunday, we're warming it back up a little bit, getting back up to 39 degrees. The low that night about 22. Then on MLK Day, I tell you what, this is not going to be too bad. In fact, the weather's going to really start to improve. We're looking at mostly sunny skies. It'll be 43 degrees on Monday, and that's the beginning of a nice long run of 40-degree readings as we head into the rest of next week. We'll have more about that coming up in a few more minutes. Russ?
Sounds good. Thank you, Bob. It may be winter outside, but some folks are already getting a head start thinking about summer adventures. The Great Rocky Sports Show draws outfitters from all around the world to the Metro Park Expo Center. In previous years, the sports show has been held in other cities as well, but this year Billings is the only place. Outdoor enthusiasts from around Montana and Wyoming come to find a possible vacation for later in the year.
People from Montana and Wyoming, they kind of grew up with this outdoor heritage. You know, we all like to go hunting and fishing and camping. Here at the show, people can come down and take their kids and kind of get ready for their family adventures, you know, be it camping or traveling or whatever.
Well, the Great Rocky Sports Show continues tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. and Sunday from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. Two of the Magic City's most anticipated events are joining forces this year for a summer celebration all about the arts. Symphony in the Park and Summer Fair will set up shop at Pioneer Park June 26th through the 28th. The event marks the beginning of a new collaboration between the Billings Symphony and the Yellowstone Art Museum. Q2's Ed McIntosh spoke to event organizers who say they can't wait for summer.
Huge event coming up, Brian. Talk about exactly what people are going to expect this summer.
Sure, we're very excited to announce the merger of Symphony in the Park and Summer Fair this coming year in Pioneer Park. It just made sense to do this wonderful collaboration because these two events have been going on for many, many years in our community, and we're really excited about working together.
And watch Montana This Morning Monday to hear more about the event and some of the upcoming projects for the Billings Symphony and the Yellowstone Art Museum. Well, Yellowstone Valley Animal Shelter is debuting a new program designed to connect one of the often forgotten about groups of animals with their forever homes. Q2's Jenny Fick got a look inside.
Officially launched our new Seniors Adopting Seniors program.
The idea was created to make the process of adopting an older animal more affordable
and help make better matches between senior adopters and senior animals in the shelter.
Pets over 8 are considered to be seniors. Whatever reason has brought the animals to the shelter, this program aims to make it as easy as possible for them to find their home.
Oftentimes our senior animals will get overlooked. It's a really great match when they find somebody who's a little bit further along in their life as well, and you're looking for a lap animal and that animal is just looking for a lap.
Senior citizens will receive an age-based discount when adopting a senior pet.
So if you're a 95-year-old and you want a senior animal, you get a 95% discount, which is a pretty great deal.
In addition to their companionship, senior animals generally will already be potty or litter box trained, vaccinated, and may even have a microchip.
You know a lot about their personality already. You know, when there's a kitten or a puppy, you don't really know how they're going to behave when they get older, what their temperament's going to be like. You know all of that with a senior animal.
The inspiration behind this program was simple for YVAS.
We love anybody who will give a senior animal a chance. It always kind of makes us just want to cry here that somebody sees the qualities that we see in them and gives them that second chance. It's so hard when you see an older animal come into the shelter. They're at the end of their life and you say, you just belong on like a fluffy couch and not hanging out here. And so when we find those adopters that are willing to take that chance on them, they fill our hearts too.
In Billings, Jenny Fick, MTN News.
Go get yourself one or two. If you're interested, the shelter is located there at 1735 Monad Road. Still to come on the 10 o'clock news, a story we did last week here on Q2 goes national. We're going to take another look at that. Plus, the price of some wines may soon have you seeing double. And in sports, Scott chases down a full night of high school hoops, including Senior, Skyview, and Central, all playing at home.
You're watching MTN News with Janelle Slade and Russ Riesinger, Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire, and sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.